Hi everyone, welcome to Border Tanks with stewiejp. I'm Stewie and this is a triple shot of Japanese action, a threesome featuring the Tier 5 Japanese medium tank, the Chi Nu, and the Tier 6, the Chi To. The first game being demonstrated by Sub-Zero from Screw Clan using his Tier 5 Japanese medium tank, the Chi Nu. Now the Chi Nu, they're a little bit different, the Japanese medium tank, especially at low tier or Tier 5 and 6. It's got armor piercing rounds for standard ammunition, 125 damage, 124 penetration, 155 penetration for its premium ammunition, which is a different type of armor piercing. Also has high explosive rounds, which does a little bit more damage for a hell of a lot less pen. As he misses his first shot towards the quick German little Tier 4 looks, picks up some assisted damage, fires and picks up the kill. That's the first kill of the game on Malinovka, I think it is. And he's just looking at, looks like a lot of his team, they're camping a lot. A lot of their team are camping. One of them's drowned, a guy in a Largo who's platooned with another Largo, so I wouldn't have too much faith in the other guy. They're down by 1-5 at this stage, and Sub-Zero is probably, he's just put into the chat, camp base equals lose, and that is exactly right. As he picks up his second kill, getting rid of the second look. So both lookses have been killed at Tier 4. That's a Tier 5 game. He's going to have to come up against some top tier opponents sooner or later. That other Largo, who was also part of the platoon, has looks like he's YOLOing towards the SU-85B and the KV-1S. Sub-Zero needs to do something here. Needs to start chipping away at that SU-85B. Gets him for 129 damage. Goes unspotted, but he does the right thing. Puts a blind shot in. Looks like he might be going to try his luck and put another blind shot in. That shell seemed to go a little bit wide. 2-6 is the score as that Largo goes down to the KV-1S. And they're down by 2-6. And the last blind shot kills that SU-85B. He's got all 3 kills now with the score in 3-6. And of course the enemy team not making the same mistake that Sub-Zero's team doing, and they didn't camp the base. Looks like they've pushed reasonably aggressively. The T-67, who was last there where that square was pinged, got picked up by the Bishop, which is a pretty good shot by artillery to get into that ditch. M25 Stewart had pushed up to D8, and of course that KV-1S happy to sit on the corner and defend base. That's what people say when they're camping. I'm not camping, I'm defending the base. 4-7's the score. Sub-Zero's picked up 389 damage, it was seen, but of course a lot of those blind shots went into that SU-85B, the Tier 4 Soviet tank destroyer, which is a kill that hasn't been seen. So if you can't beat him, join him, says Sub-Zero. So he decides to camp a bush himself, sits up in a bush, fires up his binoculars and waits, because you can see everybody who went to the hill are now falling back. There's 3 artilleries in the game. That Bishop will be looking very, very nervous. He's already calling everybody a noob. And look at that, everybody, even the Stugs coming back now. Looks like everybody's going to camp the A-line, which, I don't know, is that the right thing to do in a situation like this? You're only down by 3. A lot of Tier 4s on the enemy team, which should be easy pickings. 2 grills. They'd be nice to shoot if you could find them, but you're not going to find them from the A-line. Still back to C1, everybody else on the A-line. And it might be a case of hurry up and wait now. Looks like they're just going to wait for the enemy team to push through. M5 Stewart rolling over the cap. And that's what's just woken up Sub-Zero. I think he was falling asleep there. Puts a shot into the M5 Stewart. The Stug picks up the kill. Now they're only down by 2 tanks. Still content to do a little bit of a camp fest. There's another looks and another M5 Stewart on the enemy team. Maybe they might do a YOLO. Or the Covenator. Of course, at low tiers you do see some funny things. And this is looking like funny things. The other M5 Stewart's just been spotted up on the hill. And it looks like he's been lit by the Bishop. Now, I didn't see any 6th sense go off, but of course at tier 5 maybe he doesn't have 6th sense. He did cop a shot from that M5 Stuart before he killed him. He's picked up 4 kills. 4 out of the 6 enemy tanks that have been killed by Sub-Zero from Screw Clan. His tier 5 Japanese medium tank, the Chi Nu. And the Chi He gets taken out by artillery. Turning around, aiming. Even though it's a bit of a poo-poo gun, like a low alpha, high rate of fire, it doesn't look like it has a great aim time. Of course, I'm not privy to knowing what kind of equipment Sub-Zero's running in this tank. It looks like he doesn't have 6th sense. He's chipping away nicely at the Stug at tier 5. Wow, one more shot should be enough if he can manage to land a shot, but it looks like he can't. So he looks towards the Covenator, tier 4 British light tank. Somebody hits him and stuns him. No idea where these shots are going. What's that aim circle? Not really too tight. Manages to land a shot. Makes him a one shot for anybody left on his team. Might as well fire blindly. Is that gonna not lucky enough? Not as lucky as he was last time against the tank destroyer with his blind shots. A KV-1S shows himself rolling towards the cap. 7-8, they're coming back here. He picks up the kill. That evens it up. 5 kills, 8 all is the score. He's done at least 1,000 damage. Of course, the blind shots we haven't seen in the bottom left-hand side of your screen. The damage counter doesn't show the blind shots, unfortunately. It'd be nice if it did, but I guess looks like it doesn't do that. Anyway, 8 all the score. 3 artilleries left on each team, so Sub-Zero needs to be a little bit careful because 2 of the artilleries on the enemy team are top tier, plus he got the little tier 4 German thing. No idea about how that thing goes. And on Sub-Zero's side, 2 mediums and 2 tank destroyers, as well as the artilleries. The enemy side has that 1 heavy tank, which would be the Type 95, who hasn't yet been seen in this game. There's the Hetzer. He does get a shot into the Hetzer, and the PZ-4D German tank destroyer picks up the kill. 9-8 the score. It's at 1156 damage. That was seen. That's probably closer to 13 or 1400. A bit of pinging going on for that Combinator. The Lux picks up the kill on the T67. So that Lux was last spotted not too far from Sub-Zero. I didn't even hear him shoot though, and that T67 wasn't that far from Sub-Zero either. So maybe he's been spotted. We don't know. Clearly he doesn't have 6th sense. He did cop a shot. That shot that he copped early on might have been a lucky shot from whoever it was that shot him. Bit of map ping going on. Nobody wants to be the first person out on the dance floor. The PZ-4D, the other medium tank, on pretty low health, 168. Of course, the grill or a number of those enemy tanks could possibly one-shot him. And Sub-Zero confirms his top gun, picking up the kill on the Look. So the only other tank with any view is really that Covenator, who was last spotted at F2. Sub-Zero going to start climbing this hill now, looking for where these other enemy tanks are. The Type 95 and the artilleries have not been spotted this whole game. And Sub-Zero is probably sick of hanging around the base, and he's decided to stuff this for a game of Skittles. I'm nearly on full health, 446 hit points out of his starting hit points, 480. Maybe it's time to start finding out where these enemy tanks are. And he finds the Type 95. Type 95 looks like he's aiming towards the tank destroyers, so Sub-Zero has a shot at the Japanese heavy tank. Misses the first one, lands his second one. Now he looks like he's looking at Sub-Zero, gets another shot, and the grill picks up the kill. Now Sub-Zero knows artillery is probably looking at him because he's probably the only tank spotted at this stage, apart from that Stug, who was just killed by one of the grills. So he needs to keep moving. That Covenator, is he still down here? It was a long time ago that he was spotted. Scores 11-10, 3 artilleries and that Covenator left on the enemy side. 3 artilleries. Sub-Zero with his Chi Nu and the PZ-4D Tier 4 German medium tank left on Sub-Zero's side. We know he's done at least 1,511 hit points of damage. It's probably closer to 17 or 1,800 with all that successful blind firing that he does. Now somebody's on the cap. Pretty good chance it's the Covenator. That's going to probably force Sub-Zero to move back and try and stop the reset. Nearly rolls his tank there. You would imagine it would be the light tank who just rolled over that cap, and if it was, that Covenator, if he moves up here, he could clean up those 3 artillery pieces reasonably easily as Sub-Zero continues to move down the 0 line looking for these artillery pieces, you would imagine. PZ4D probably needs to be the one to head to the cap. Maybe Sub-Zero should head back to the friendly cap to try and get rid of whatever it is that's tripping the cap. It could be the Covenator, it could be one of the artillery pieces. You never know. There's 4.5 minutes left in the game. There's the Covenator, but he's out of render distance. Sub-Zero's a bit far away, but the Grill does the right thing and gets rid of the Tier 4 British light tank. 12-10's the score. Sub-Zero's just found that STPZ2. It looks like he's just fired. Puts one shot into it. One more would be a lovely, lovely result. There's kill number 7 for Sub-Zero. 1,701 damage that we've seen. A little bit of assisted as well. And just looking for those last 2 remaining Grills. Tier 5 German artillery pieces. Could be anywhere. That could be anywhere down in this southeastern corner. But let's be honest, they could be down in this southeastern corner. That's where artillery normally like to hide. But they could also be along the K line. And look, nobody's been around the 1 line for some time in this game. They could even be down there if they had have worked out where all of Sub-Zero's team was. Interesting game considering the score was looking pretty drastic very early on. I think they were down by about 4 tanks pretty early on. Sub-Zero explores the southeastern grid square. Quite confident they're probably not there. You'd think he would have seen them by now. He's just making sure, just doubling back just to make sure they weren't sitting in these bushes. Finally, everybody in the team have grown a set of balls at the same time and have left the A-line. That's right, folks, they've finally left the A-line. There's one of the Grills back towards Sub-Zero's base. There's another one, the PZ4D, you'd imagine. I'm hoping that Grill one-shots him. I really am. It sounds like the SU5 picked up the kill on one of the Grills. And do you get a Radley Walters for 8 kills at Tier 5? Ooh, fires just before the Grill gets spotted. Someone else puts a shot into him. And the PZ4D picks up the kill. That's 7 kills on Melanovka for Sub-Zero. And I don't know if he just shot the teammate, but I'll tell you what, I'd be pretty tempted to, as we have a very quick look at the results of that game. Sub-Zero in the Tier 5 Japanese medium tank, the Type 3 Chi Nu, picked up an Ace Tanker Mastery Badge for that little performance, a Bruiser, Fire for Effect, Confederate High Caliber, and of course a Top Gun for picking up 6 kills. And have a look at all the passengers in that game. And I guess it's easy to criticise, but that's what you get at Tier 5. That's what you get at low tiers. 1,951 hit points of damage for Sub-Zero from Screw Clan. Let's not take anything away from that. That's a massive result. 1,951 damage. Nobody did more than 1,000. In fact, only 2 people on the enemy team did more than 500. And only 3 people on Sub-Zero's team did more than 500. And handy profit margin, 31,743 credits with a premium account. He fired 32 shots, 17 hit. Remember, there was a lot of blind firing. And the accuracy of that gun is nothing to write home about, but that was enough for an Ace Tanker Mastery Badge on Melanovka. Was it Melanovka? Who knows? Anyway, game number 2 of this threesome featuring Japanese medium tanks. This one features Blackjacks from what university? Southeast Asian clan. Blackjacks in the Chi Nu again, the Tier 5 Japanese medium tank. This time we're on Erlenberg, and he's not quite top tier. There's 3 Tier 6 tanks on both sides, an M6, an SU-100Y and a T-37 on the enemy side, and a KV-85, an Ike 65-2 and the 59-16 light tank on Blackjack's team. Moving up there, this game does go for a little while, so I'm just going to skip a little bit forward as he moves up the eastern flank. One of his teammates has already been killed. The IKV-103 was killed by the SU-100Y on the enemy side. Fires towards the M8A1, the Tier 4 light tank. Second shot goes through, third shot picks up the kill, and they're ahead in this replay. 3-2's the score. Blackjacks from what university? Southeast Asia. Moving up towards where that looks is. Hopefully that looks hasn't overcommitted, because I'm not sure how many friendly tanks have shots on those tanks up there. It looks like that little stretch thing, 42, might be killed just before Blackjack gets to shoot. Looks doing a great job spotting these tanks. There's the SAV M43, the Tier 5 Swedish tank destroyer. You'll be thinking Tier 5, Tier 4, I think it is. Oh no, it's Tier 5. I think 5-3 the score on Erlenberg. And looking at the mini-map, you can see a lot of enemy action on the western flank. And I think this is the bit where Blackjack's going to move up towards the cap circle to see what's happening. He's already picked up 300 damage that we've seen. Nothing spectacular yet, but don't worry, he's going to fire up this little Japanese gun before you know it, it's all going to be happening. Spots a Skoda T24. And again, the Japanese accuracy. Managed to land a shot there. It wasn't looking too good. Two enemy tanks fall pretty quickly on the other side. So does an enemy tank. You can see at distance the accuracy of this Japanese gun at Tier 5. Not too good. The two artillery pieces get killed. Hopefully the looks can do some damage into those artilleries before he gets taken out by the Skoda. Lots of enemy tanks coming back to try and defend those artilleries and get rid of that pesky little looks. The 59-16 kills the T-37. The Bishop looks like he shotgunned the looks, going in there all alone. If that medium tank wasn't there, he probably would have just had a field day with those two artillery pieces, the Tier 4 and the Tier 5 British artillery. But the Skoda, with its quick rate of fire, manages to land a shot. Blackjack's looking for some cheeky shots here. Fires towards the box tank, misses. And I didn't realise how inaccurate this gun was at range. I mean, he's not that far away from all the action. 9 all the score. They were up by 2 or 3 tanks not so long ago. But that western flank has absolutely capitulated as Blackjack decides. I think the best thing to do might be to head all the way back to the cap, which is so... Well, I'm just skipping forward to where he gets back to the cap, because it is a long drive in a medium tank that isn't really too quick. He's got some vision on the KV-1S. He's probably a little bit nervous to fire. He'll be hoping those artillery pieces are aiming at that Russian heavy tank. His sixth sense doesn't go off, but who knows? Looks like he may have set him on fire. He did. He set him on fire and killed the KV-1S. You've got to be happy with that. Of course, he was unspotted when he died, so he didn't see all the damage that Blackjack's put into the Tier 5 Soviet heavy tank. 10-9 as he cops a big shot from the Birch gun. Even though it's only a Tier 4, that cost him 333 hit points, which is about 3/4 or nearly 3/4 of his health, and also a damaged ammo rack, which he fixes by using the multi-use repair kit now. You can use your repair kits as often as you like, every 90 seconds. 10-9, they're up by 1 tank. Blackjack's picked up 2 kills, at least 546 damage, probably closer to 1,000. Looks like the M3 Lee's spotting that Skoda T24. Hopefully somebody's shooting him. I'm not sure if that's Sav M43. Yes, he does. He gets the kill on the... I think it's not a premium tank. No, it's a normal Tier 5 Swedish tank. 11-9 the score now, but he needs to be careful. He's only on 147 hit points, Blackjack's, from what university? Southeast Asia. And it looks like them at last. All the enemy tanks have been spotted, the last remaining 4, and they've all been spotted in the same place. The SU-100Y picks up the kill on artillery, the M41 HMC, and that's why he's pinging down here. Looks like that box tank has gone all the way down the K line, and it's going to be up to Blackjack's from what university? Southeast Asia, and his little Chinese Tier 5 medium tank to find him and to get rid of him, because that's a pretty good chance he's the one that's sitting on the cap circle as he lights up the Bishop. Thinks about stopping for a cheeky little sniper shot on the Tier 5 British artillery piece, but he knows he's got a minute, so there's no great rush. Looks like Artie just got a shot into the Bishop. Slowly peeks around the corner, and the box tank not looking Blackjack's way. He can afford another shot here. Puts another shot into the Tier 6 Russian tank destroyer. It's got a pretty high alpha gun. He can certainly one-shot the little Type 3 Chi Nu with that big, strong Russian gun. And he's there. Just missed that shot. Unless he was aiming for the house, in which case he landed it perfectly. On 100 wide turns, gives him enough of an angle to put some damage into him. Looks like that SU 100 wide, more focused on the Sav. Fires clutch, takes him down to 124 hit points. This could be a one-shot for Blackjacks from Watt University, Southeast Asian Clan in the Chi Nu. One more shot, but of course he's a one-shot as well. And looks like the SU 100 wide just fired and missed. So he knows he can beat him on the reload and pick up the kill. 3 artilleries left. One just fired. That possibly was the AMX 105 or even the SU 5. Looking for the kill shot. There's the enemy artillery fire. Of course, a Bishop was spotted down here as well. There he is. That Bishop will be aiming Blackjack's way. He is. So he auto aims. Artie looks like he's trying to help. Gets him again. Oh, he cops it for 73, but he picks up the kill and fixes his tracks to make sure one of those other 2 artilleries aren't aiming in the direction of Blackjacks in a little lightly armoured Chi Nu, the Tier 5 Japanese medium tank. And look at that, missed by about 3.5 inches. He's on 74 hit points out of his original 480. He's picked up at least 1,500 hit points of damage. Now that won't count the fire that he lit on the KV-1S or any other blind shots that he might have taken. 1311, 1,506 damage, a little bit of assisted damage too, which is always handy, and he'll be fancying himself here against 2 Tier 4 artillery, the British Birch gun and the Russian SU-5. No idea what the characteristics of those 2 tanks are. Been a long time since I played Tier 4, as the Birch gun picks up the kill on the M3 Lee. Now the M3 Lee was up here with the AMX. May as well take that shot, son. Puts a shot towards the SU. The AMX 105 does a great kill shot on the SU-5, and that just leaves that British Tier 4 SPG, the Birch gun, pretty quick and a pretty small target, but you'd fancy Blackjacks in his Chi Nu the way he's been playing to pick up the 5th kill. Unlucky not to be up for a top gun in this little performance, but he's certainly helped his team in other ways. Heading straight for where the Birch gun was last spotted, the SU-5 and the AMX 105, heading towards the enemy's cap. You'd imagine the Birch gun would be aiming this way, because that's where the last tanks were spotted. So I don't know, maybe I would have come around the behind, hoping that that's the direction he was aiming in. There he is, he has come around behind. Oh no, Birch gun, is it? Which way is it facing? Looks like it might be facing Blackjack's way, so it's not going to be as quick a finish as we might have hoped in this Tier 5 Japanese medium tank replay. Of course, we've got a Tier 6 after this. Fires clutch and misses. Birch gun will probably think, no worries, I might have him here. Maybe he missed him on purpose to try and give the Birch gun a bit more confidence. Don't drown yourself. Artie shoots and misses. I don't know if artillery will have an angle at that range. Looks like the French Artie just fired and missed as well. Someone splashed him. He's down to 136 hit points of damage. One shot from Blackjacks might be all it needs. He's not aiming as well. Puts a shot in, takes him down to 6 health. One more. Thank you very much. Always good to get the last kill of the game. And in the end, he saved that game. Brought it back 15-12 as we have a very quick look at the post-game battle results. Before we get the final replay ready, it's an Ace Tanker Mastery Badge, the Arsonist for setting that KV-1S on fire, Bruiser, Fighter, Fire for Effect, Pascucci's Medal for killing 2 artilleries in one game, and the High Caliber. 1,823 hit points of damage in the end, so a little bit more than the damage counter was showing. 1126 base experience. Only 2 other tanks hit the 1,000. That was the 5916, who had a pretty good game himself, and that SU 100Y, bad luck to him, picking up 1,400 damage and a top gun and not managing to win. He fired 25 shots, 17 hit, 16 went through, 1823 damage, a little bit of assisted, and that was enough for an Ace Tanker Mastery badge. Didn't make too many credits. Maybe there was premium ammunition fight, I'm not really sure. But all in all, a pretty good result. Even though it went for probably a little bit longer than it should have, then it was a pretty good game. Now, as we go into our third and final replay in this threesome of Japanese medium tanks, this is a Type 4 Cheeto. Type 4 Cheeto being driven by Sub-Zero again. Clearly, the Japanese medium tanks have been on sale. Well, when I did this replay, they were on sale, and maybe Sub-Zero's been grinding his way through the Japanese medium line. This time we're on Al Haloof, and it's a tier 8 battle, so a lot harder to really stand out and shine when you're in a tier 6 medium tanks up against some heavily armoured tier 8 tanks, the IS-5 Clan World Reward tank, the Ferdinand, and as well as 3 tier 7 ISs and an A44. They can all be challenging for a Cheeto to penetrate. Of course, Cheeto with AP rounds does 130 average damage, 155 penetration, premium rounds 186, which is not APCR, it's a different kind of armour piercing rounds, which happens as he moves up to the ridge lines where medium tanks tend to do their business on Al Haloof. He'll be looking for some early spots on the enemy tanks, and of course some early damage as well. Looks like it's got pretty good gun detection, the old Cheeto, and you can poke around, and side shots into the IS would be nice. Critical hits him, gets the second one though for 126 damage into the tier 7 Russian tank destroyer. Is in a pretty safe spot from artillery, so he can probably safely sit here and shoot away, especially if these tanks are going to continue to roll through this gap. Hit the T20 then. I don't think not sure if he damaged him. Another shot into the VK30-01P. I don't think he did. I think he was killed by the T20 just before Sub-Zero's shell landed. Looking at the minimap, lots of action in this northwestern corner. Looks like all 3 ISs have come up here, as well as the KV-85. The Ferdinand is certainly up there. The IS-5, I reckon I saw the IS-5. The Type 58. Maybe even something else as well. Ooh, I thought he was going to miss that shot on the Type 58. When he pulled back, that aim circle went quite large. Of course, we know he's got 6 cents now because it's just gone off. But he's in a pretty good position. Fires clutch towards the IS, doesn't manage to land it. But he'll play peekaboo with this IS all day. Does cop a shot from the tier 7 Russian heavy tank for 276. He's only got 820 health to start with, so he needs to make the most of it. Bounces the other IS, who's stunned by artillery. Another new mechanic of patch 9.18. Puts another shot into that IS for 124. Looking at that one. Gets him, but gets a shot in return. 218. I thought the IS had a bigger gun than that. Maybe that IS driver is running in stock. Lots of enemy tanks in this area. Needs to be careful out now. He's only on 326 health. Doesn't manage to land that shot. Gets that one though. Takes the Type 58 down to 617. But on 326, he'll be looking a likely target for those enemy tanks. Takes the Type 58 down again. He's still stunned. And one more shot sends him back to the garage and gives Sub-Zero his first kill at his tier 6 Japanese medium tank. 3-zip the score. He's done over 1,000 damage already, which isn't a shabby start, but he needs to be mindful of his health. He's only on 326 health. 4-zip the score now. Looks like Sub-Zero and his team are doing quite well in this northwestern flank, even though a lot of their tanks are on the eastern side. They're holding up this heavy push quite nicely, but the IS-5 still alive. That's probably one you want to worry about. It's probably the most heavily armoured tank in this battle. The Ferdinand's already been taken out. Lets his teammate know that he's firing a stock gun here, which maybe that's true. He's up to 1200 damage, gets another shot into the IS as the IS shoots and misses, takes him down to 312 hit points, and it looks like that IS has been scared away. And he's pulling out, he's probably going to look for a different angle. Looking at the mini-map, a lot of tanks down here, they could probably quite easily flank Sub-Zero and his teammates if they realise that they've got the numerical advantage. Even though the scoreboard says 4-2, there's a lot of A lot of enemy tanks in this corner, but a lot of low health enemy tanks. That IS just got taken out by the other IS. Sub-Zero's just taken that IS down to a one shot. Or one shot for others, and one more shot for him. Ooh, he thinks about it. But he knows that A44 is probably looking at him. The rear turreted Russian medium tank. He is aiming his way. Sub-Zero gets a shell in, takes him down to 74 hit points with the help of some artillery. 5-2's the score, 1768 damage in the Cheeto in this tier 8 game on El Haluf. He's got to be very, very tentative here. Still got his 328 hit points. He's had them for a while. A lot more enemy tanks here, but I think Sub-Zero's team has the hit point advantage, if you like, as artillery gets rid of that IS-6 that was giving Sub-Zero a bit of a hard time. One of the friendly IS-6s go down, so does the KV-85. Enemy team certainly have the numerical advantage here. It would be very handy if that Thunderbolt or Scorpion G came up just for another big gun to clean up some of these tanks. It's just Sub-Zero left with the T20 and the other Scorpion G. Probably needs to go for the kill shot. Puts a shot into the KV-85. 6 all the score now as the enemy really pulling this one back. The Scorpion G goes down. Everybody else on the other side, by the looks of it, apart from the Cheeto and the T20. 2 Cheetos and a T20 versus a few tier 6s, 7s and 8s. But looking at them, a lot of low health. KV-85 is only on 96. The IS-5 on about 300. And that other IS, I reckon, might be a 2-shot for our hero Sub-Zero from Screw Clan in little Japanese tier 6 medium tank. 7 all the score now. All these tanks in the southern part getting held up by one Type 64 and possibly artillery. Don't know where artillery's shooting, of course. Cromwell gets rid of that Type 64 finally. 3 versus 1, and Lorraine got rid of that Cromwell in return. 8-8, still the score. 1 tier 8 left on Sub-Zero's team. 2 on the enemy side, the IS-5 and the Rheinmetall. That's just the Scorpion G as far as tier 8s go. Left on Sub-Zero's team. The Firefly getting overwhelmed now, but Sub-Zero knows his KV-85 was last spotted down here. The Scorpion G and the Firefly pick up a kill each, and now they're back in the lead, 8-10. Sub-Zero's decided very good chance those heavy tanks have fallen back, so he's going to start moving forward. Firefly picks up another kill, getting rid of the tier 8 premium Clan Wars reward tank, the IS-5. 11-8 the score. Sub-Zero still moving forward. There's that KV-85. Well, there's one of them. Oh, there's RT. We've got to get rid of him. 12-8 the score now. Just 3 heavy tanks remaining. 3 kills for Sub-Zero. 2023 hit points of damage, as he's wants to go down and try and help that Firefly out. There's an IS and 2 KV-85s, all last spotted in this general area. T20 picks up the kill. Firefly went down swinging, took 2 enemy tanks with him, but here they are. Go for the low health first. No, he bounces the IS. The IS starts turning around. They're both one shots now. 3 kills to Sub-Zero. He'd love to add to it. Yeah, get rid of the IS first. Good job. And the KV-85 gets done by artillery. In the end, not a bad comeback on El Haluf, as we have a very quick look at the post-game battle results. It's a threesome of Japanese medium tank action. This was Sub-Zero in the Type 4 Cheeto, picking himself up a fighter medal, fire for effect. How do you say that? Vaslejo's medal, killing 2 enemy tank destroyers with a medium tank at a higher tier, and of course the Ace Tanker Mastery Badge. Did plenty of damage. Second top score in damage done, 2,271 hit points of damage for the tier 6 Japanese medium tank. 4 kills, 1273 base experience. The T20 had a ripper as well with 2385. And apart from the IS-5, 2,000 damage as a tier 8. Not as impressive as the tier 6, I have to say. If I had 29 shots, 24 hit, 19 did damage. Cost him a few credits. I didn't notice it at the time, but there must have been some premium ammunition there going by that cost of 68,000. But in an 8.5 minute game, over 2,000 damage, 2,271 damage and 4 kills in a tier 8 game. That was an absolute ripper. And of course the tanks that he killed, the Lorraine, the A44, the IS and the Type 58. What a game from Sub-Zero. So it's 2 games from Sub-Zero, 1 from Blackjacks, featuring the Chi Nu and the Chi To, the Tier 5 and Tier 6 medium Japanese tanks. Thanks for the replays, lads. Thanks for watching, everyone. Take care, and see you all next time.